Hey everybody, welcome back. Let me introduce you to a new place I found in the southwest part of Las Vegas. This is a Japanese ramen place. I don't know if you knew, but there are many different kinds of ramen. There are your top ramen, your cup of noodles, the instant noodles. Korean ramen is different. Chinese noodles are different. Vietnamese rice noodles different. And then there's the Japanese ramen that focuses on a unique flavor of its own. This place has only been open for about 4 months, but the reviews I've read drew me to this place. It seemed like this place had some really interesting and unique flavors of its own. This is Ramen Zero. It looks like your typical ramen place, a cozy place that specializes in ramen, not many seats. A cozy place that doesn't have 150 items on the menu. They only have a few, but they specialize in those few items. I'm a food lover, not a food hater, so any unique taste draws me in. And when I looked at the decorations, I'm pretty sure that there were many untold stories behind the books and the pictures. Originating in Japan, relocating to San Jose, and then now transplanted to Las Vegas. Let me introduce you. Meet chef and owner Yoshiyuki Maruyama. Chef Maru has been open since August of 2022, and he's serving up his own unique style of dishes. Okay, so what makes your ramen different? Like, for instance, your Tokyo Shoyu.
Very different for the broth. Now, I made that from scratch for the soup. Yeah, it's a many chicken and a many fish, vegetable. That's why the flavor is very
Unique.
strong. Yeah, unique. Yes.
Very unique flavor for the shoyu.
Right, and it looks very beautiful.
And then how did you come up with the tantan ramen idea?
Tantan is a ground pork.
Ground pork.
Yes.
Okay.
Usual, we used to the it's Japanese or Korean chili, but we don't use the chili. It's Chinese mara sansho pepper.
Okay,
That's
so
why. Yeah.
what is the? I noticed you're putting that black oil in there. Is that
It's
garlic?
garlic oil.
Garlic oil. Black garlic
Black
oil.
garlic. It's
Okay.
original black garlic oil.
Black garlic
with,
oil.
It's charcoal powder.
Charcoal powder.
Yeah,
okay.
that's why.
It was during lunchtime when I stopped in, and there were quite a bit of orders. And I watched Chef Maru produce these orders with skill and precision. Most everything is made from scratch, just prepped, and ramen is made to order. That explains why the noodles are always the perfect texture. The appetizers looked really enticing, especially the matcha takoyaki. And because I wanted to try so many things, I ordered 3 appetizers and 2 of their signature ramens, and then watched the magic happen. I couldn't stay in the kitchen too long because my appetizers were waiting for me. Here is the matcha takoyaki. Takoyakis are Japanese street food, but I've never seen them made with matcha. And they didn't have the bonito flakes that it's usually served with. This one actually had a significant piece of octopus because usually you can hardly tell that it has octopus. It's more batter. Crispy outside and delightfully gooey inside with an interesting matcha topping. Chicken karaage is like plain fried chicken, but when they fry it perfectly, it's crispy outside and tender and moist inside. It's just the universal comforting taste and texture of fried chicken. Some places will have their own twists, and here I didn't expect them to have sauces for this. In fact, these are not on the menu. At least not when I was filming. But I was served 3 types of sauces: wasabi mayo, spicy mayo, and honey mustard. These were game changers. It totally elevated the experience of the chicken karaage. The wasabi mayo was awesome, and then this spicy mayo, it had a really significant spice to it. It was a good kind of spicy. If you ever happen to come here, I do recommend that you ask for the sauces. I don't know if they're gonna put it on the menu, but hopefully they will. Another appetizer they have here is the aji fry, which is fried mackerel. These were also delightful, with a little squeeze of lime and then the sauce that they put over it. Mackerel is not very popular in the Western culture, but many Asian countries love mackerel. It does have an undeserved bad reputation because people consider it oily and fishy. However, it was very mild here, and it also has some incredible health benefits. Moving on to the ramen, I ordered two kinds of ramen. The Tokyo Shoyu ramen and then the Tantan Zero ramen, which is their two most signature dishes. They also have an umami miso ramen and a vegan miso ramen. Now, I'm not an expert on ramen. I read the reviews, and the reviews were pretty good. They were pretty stellar. Lots of 5 stars on Yelp. I love the tonkatsu ramen and the miso ramen, but the shoyu is also good. It's subtle and savory at the same time. A mixture enriched with the broth from chicken and vegetables, enhanced by the chashu, the pork or pork belly. Remember to always ask if it comes with a boiled egg, because you'll want this soft boiled egg. Perfect. If I don't have a soft boiled egg in my ramen, then it feels like something's missing. The texture of the noodles was good. It was bouncy and firm, not too soft. The pork or chashu was extremely soft and melted in my mouth. The Tantan Zero ramen was totally different. Tantan is the ground pork that's in here, and there was a significant amount of garlic oil served with a piece of garlic bread. Yes, garlic bread. It was a nice touch. This ramen had some interesting ingredients such as cilantro, and most interestingly, the ground pork was infused with the mala Szechuan pepper. It wasn't like the Chinese hot pot where you taste the mala and it instantly numbs your mouth. It was real slight, very subtle. So the pepper in this was a little bit different from the traditional peppers. You probably heard Chef Maru talk about it in the beginning. And I could be mistaken, but I thought there was a hint of sesame in here. I really liked the interesting twist of this ramen, slightly different from what I was used to. A unique combination of flavors and textures. I'm always drawn to trying new tastes and new foods. Whenever there's a twist or a variation, it really interests me. But that might be relative to whether you like new things or familiar things. Some people's taste buds just like what they're used to. I'm not an expert on ramen, and I can't even begin to rank the ramen places in Vegas, but I really enjoyed the food here, everything from the appetizers to the ramen. They only have one dessert on the menu, the Hoji tea pudding, or flan. It was more like flan. It's a type of a green tea that is steamed and roasted. The color becomes darker and it resembles black tea more than green tea. And it also doesn't have much caffeine because the process of roasting and steaming kind of neutralizes the caffeine. As a dessert item, this was more bitter than sweet. So if you're not familiar with it, you might want to do research before ordering this. And as usual, all the information will be in the description of the video below. So you need to watch on your computer or phone, not on your TV. So that's going to do it for me at Ramen Zero. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.